Look at that! Ah, it's never simple, is it? Idiot. It's looking good. So our next rally is a gravel rally, and it's the John Dyer Memorial Stages, which is a return of the Isle of Wight stages that was run in the 70s and 80s here on the Isle of Wight. We're really looking forward to it. However, we've got to protect the bottom of the car, because gravel rallies have a tendency to not necessarily damage the bottom of a classic Mini, but more wear the bottom of it out. I'll tell you right now, the rally we're going to do is not as bad as this old video that you see here, but we do need to protect the bottom of the car. I've got some old signs that I've had for years. I'm going to use those to make a protective skid pan. Okay, today's dilemma is my 3mm thick aluminium or aluminum. It would be really nice if I could bend that up like that to match the sill line. I could just cut it off, but it'd be lovely to have a little bit of sill protection, but I'd need to bend it up by 25 degrees. How the hell am I going to do that at home? I could make a break or a folder, but whew, I don't know. Look at that! There's absolutely no way that I could have folded that myself using 2 bits of angle iron as a test piece. So, thank you very much, sir. Really appreciate that. I can't wait to get these on the car. It's looking good. The next dilemma is this sump guard is not long enough because my bottom of my exhaust is exposed and also the gear shifter is exposed. What I would absolutely love to do is to tuck the exhaust right up into the tunnel. The best way to do that is to relocate the shifter inside the car on the top, and then you can modify the downpipe so that it actually goes inside the tunnel. Much better. However, me being the purist in me, I know this isn't a purist car, but the purist in me doesn't want to do it because A, it would just not look period with the shifter inside, and B, this is a very expensive MINIFREEK exhaust. I can't remember how much it cost, but it was way too much. And the last thing I want to do is be cutting those 2 downpipes to anyway.
I think the quickest and easiest and maybe even cheapest option is to just extend the sump guard. I think the problem that I've got, okay, so it will clear the shifter, but it won't quite clear the exhaust. And as I say, I can't really raise the exhaust without cutting and shutting the manifold. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to build some brackets to lower the sub guard by, I don't know, a centimetre or two, so then I can bolt on an extension. It won't need much. Time to get fabricating.
I can't hear you now.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you...
I don't think so. Can you hear me?
The intercom in a rally Mini, no, in any rally car, is hugely important. The communication between navigator and driver cannot be underestimated. Unfortunately, on the Rally Mini, I skipped slightly on the intercom. I bought a second-hand one on eBay, which was kind of fine, but it's caused us so many problems even in the 2 events that we've done. There's been lots of background noise. There's been bits where the sound has dropped in and out. And to be honest, when you're doing a rally, that's the last thing you need. So we've decided to do our most ambitious GoFundMe sponsorship project for the Rally Mini so far. And that's for a new intercom and headsets. The headsets are for when we're practicing. Having a working intercom is going to be so nice to have. Any donation or sponsorship for the intercom system will be hugely appreciated. Thank you very much. If this is something that interests you, please go and see our GoFundMe page. And you can have your name on the side of our Rally Mini. Thank you very much.
Oh, I'm so glad I made this thing.
Bits that come off of this when you're chopping, oh, they're hot. Don't skimp on your PPE, Kev. I was going to make crush tubes so that my bolts won't crush this when I clamp it up. I'd be amazed if I could crush that.
So I've just put these out on the driveway to cool down, and I went, hang on, that's not right. That's not right. And then I've noticed there's my centre punch. Oh, for pity's sake. Kevin, measure twice. Do I leave that hole open? Do you know what I might do? I might just whack a bolt all the way through and weld it, rather than trying to plug weld. Idiot. What hole? No.
So, what I didn't think about is the way that I'm mounting it on the top there. Actually, it no longer clears the exhaust, whereas when I run that straight edge across, it did. And the reason was that I was running the straight edge along the bottom, wasn't I? Like that. Of course it would clear. Oh yeah, so the other option I was thinking of now is I need to step this, so I could easily cut along there, maybe cut there, sorry. Mount this bit on the top so it has a bit of a step. Steps down, good to go. It will then actually be flush with this one, which would be quite nice. There we go, look, I've got plenty of room up there. It's not going to hit anything, so I could easily do that extra 5mm. Is it? Oh yeah, and the other thing I was thinking is I could bend it. I could basically still carry on like that and just bend it down slightly. It's never simple, is it? So I've done my overlap and I've added a little relief in there, look, in the bottom sheet so I ran through it, just with an angle grinder to give it a little groove, and that's allowed me to angle the sump guard down a bit at the back, whatever you want to call it, skid pan. Let's call that bit the skid pan. But the thing is, now I've done that, and that follows that exhaust really well. Look how well that angle is. It just follows it perfectly, which is making me think, do I actually need my spacers anymore? Maybe I can just take the spacers out, bump it up, follow it down, and then do another relief cut here. Why didn't I do that in the first place, Kevin? Right, no spacers, look, and just look at that. That's spot on. Oh well, oh well, oh well. I'm actually happier with that for sure, because it gives me a bit more ground clearance on the front, because my sump guard's not so low, and yeah, it follows the profile of the exhaust. So now I've got to figure out where I need to bend it so that it comes back up again. I'm thinking somewhere about there. It's going to come back and kick me in the arse later, isn't it? I'm sure. Yeah, about there, I reckon. William Murphy. Hello, William Murphy here. When I was complaining about not having enough room, he came up with a good idea, using ramps. I kind of wish I'd done it now, but I'm almost there. Look at that, that's not bad at all. I'm really pleased with that. I think that's great. So the question is, can you see this yet? There's my bolt. The end of the gear shifter is there. Common sense would say to me, keep the entire length of that skid pan, longer the better, but I still somehow need to attach it to this captive bolt which is in there. I mean, I could make a spacer up and just have a solid, I'm in two minds whether to make like a leg that comes back, cut it off here and then just weld on a tab that goes up, down and back. That would be super simple to make. Yeah, okay, I've convinced myself.
straight in. No, it wasn't. I had to take the whole thing out again and just tweak this bar just a little bit to get it in. But it's genuinely in now. There we go, look at that. Nice. So, where do I mount this bit? What I'm worried about is not necessarily this end getting damaged from the gravel when we're racing, but I am worried about the rear valance. Everyone that knows minis know that this rear valance just fills up with crap. You know, standard road grime, let alone gravel. So I'm very keen to have something. I know the Works minis, they had little sump guards that basically went here and here because they had run a centre exhaust, but that was mainly to protect the battery box. I've made myself a template. It's not going to be made of, I haven't got any big chunky aluminium, so it's going to be some of my signed material, which is fine, I think, until I can find some decent aluminium or aluminum or aluminium as we call it on the Isle of Wight. But how do I fix it? I'm getting too old for this. The diffuser is coming on well. I don't know whether to, obviously this needs bending up. I could just leave it flat. Actually, I could just leave it flat. But what I'm worried about is if I reverse, if I have to reverse, I don't want to be scooping up, you know. Be nice to have some sort of lip curl to it. Right, let's whiz it all back off again. See if I can put a bend in it. Is that too early to make noise? Sorry neighbours. Got to crack on. I've got a rally mini to build. Could be worse. I was out here at 5:30 in the morning. I was super quiet. The quiet zone. Right, I bet you're wondering how much all this stuff weighs that I'm bolting to the bottom of the car. It doesn't really matter because it's all about protection, it's all about finishing the event, not necessarily about speed, is it? So let's weigh it all individually and find out. This one should be the same. Not.
My goodness. That's like half a person. Oh well, it is what it is. Well, I've still got a lot to do. I mean, those big bolts on the bottom, I really want to make them countersunk so that we glide over the gravel. I also need to raise the suspension a bit so that we can get our knobbly tyres on. That may mess the geometry up a little bit, so we'll see how that pans out. But the worst bit is, when I drove the car out of the garage, instantly the brakes failed. My foot went straight to the floor. I've got no brakes whatsoever, look. Nothing. Oh no, what have I done? I genuinely thought I'd broken a brake pipe or done something, you know, during the fabrication phase. But it turns out that the servo's packed up. Gee whiz, I'm so glad it did it then and not when I was test driving the car down the road or on a rally stage. So I need to sort that lot out. So if you don't want to miss any of that, please consider subscribing. Smash that like button because that really helps the channel, and I will see you next time. Ta-ta for now. Look at that, the reservoir is basically empty. Yeah, empty as can be. And there's no leaks. I've been around the entire car. There's nothing on the floor, there's nothing in the car. It's got to be the servo, isn't it? And in my wisdom, I decided to put the servo up under there. But hey, it is what it is. Let's crack on.